Everybody, welcome back to Tammy Talks. I am Tammy, obviously. So I know I did not do Kanan last week. Life. I got super busy. Overtime is crazy. I'm a full-time student, so busy. But let's talk about this finale. So this is Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode 10, Paid in Full. Before we go any further, if you are here from the last time I did a Kanan recap, or if you are just here from watching some of my other videos and you have not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go ahead, hit subscribe. Something should have bounced on the bottom here to kind of remind you, push you in the right direction. Otherwise, a huge thank you to everybody that has been following and liking and sharing and commenting and all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. This episode was a lot of nothing. And I say it's a lot of nothing because it all takes place probably over a span of maybe an hour or two, maybe three, and it's a lot of kind of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and the back and forth is coming from trying to the aftermath of what happened last episode where Kanan shot Detective Howard. And everyone's trying to get to their place, get to what they need to do because the city is hot right now. So it starts off with Kanan standing over Detective Howard from last episode. And we know that he shot him once in the chest, which knocked him down. We heard another shot, but I don't know if Kanan really shot him as many times as he ultimately needed to. And, I mean, we find out at the end of the episode he did not. So, Kanan is standing over him, and he starts hearing, they shooting out here from someone else. So, Kanan, who, like I always say, when he fucks up, he fucks up. Like, he is such a fuck up. So, Kanan hears that, and he's looking at Detective Howard. Howard is looking at him. He closes his eyes. Instead of Kanan shooting him one more time for good measure, he takes off running. While Kanan is running, this nigga falls and scrapes his hand. Jesus. So he falls and home plates, scrapes his hand. So now there's blood on the ground. DNA evidence. Like, come on. God. So, next we go over to Lou, who is standing up, or actually, Kanan goes, makes a page. He hides on the side of a building. As he's hiding, one of the hypes, one of the crackheads that's always in the park, sees him. Not only does he see his jacket, but I think he sees his face. But this man is so high, anything that he says or doesn't say, I don't know how well it's going to hold up because they know he's inebriated. They know he's intoxicated. They know this man is uber high. So are we really going to take what he says or does not say to heart at this point? If I'm a detective, probably not. So Scrap comes and picks up Kanan. Kanan asks too many questions for me. Where's my Uncle Marvin? Uncle Marvin? Get in the damn car. Get in the car. You know Scrap is back cool with your family. He's working with y'all. He's trying to help y'all out. Kanan asks too many damn questions. Talking all loud and stuff. Get your ass in the car, my guy. You sent the page. Scrap comes. Of course he's coming to get you. So we pan over to Lou, who is in the hospital, and he's noticing all the cops racing into the hospital, and it's hot, right? So I feel like every single cop in the city is there. So if you wanted to commit a crime, now's the time to do it, because no one's going to be paying attention to your ass. So he's noticing everything that's going on. Famous and Jessica get up to Lou's room, and they tell him that Detective Howard got shot. And Lou was like, Rock must be going crazy right now, so I need to go check on her. Rips his IV out, which, if you have ever had an IV in your arm, I don't know why they have people rip their IV out like that on TV. You are not ripping that out with absolutely no pain, no blood, no anything. That bothers me. I'm not even a doctor or a nurse. But I have had an IV for the 3 times that I've had surgery in my life. And I know you are not ripping your IV out like that and just walking away like, oh, well, I'm free. That's not happening. So he rips the IV out, tells Jessica to take him to see Rock. Pans over to Kanan, who Scrap has driven over to Uncle Lou's house, which is like burnt down and abandoned, so that he can get him dressed and get his clothes, like get changed with the clothes and stuff. So Kanan like walks up to Scrap and it's like, you a real one. You know, I'm sorry for every downing you. Kanan gets on my nerves, y'all. He's just as annoying as 50 Cent. Just as annoying. So Rock is like, they're walking into the house and Rock is like, where's the clothes and the money that I gave you? And he's like, oh, I left it in the car. Of course you did, because Kanan never does what he's supposed to. So Rock is like helping him get clean, cleaning underneath his nails and stuff like that, and asked him, so how many times did you shoot him? And he was like, three, I don't know, maybe two. So Rock pauses and it's like, nigga, there's a big difference between shooting somebody twice and shooting somebody three times. It's a matter of life and death, as we see later. It's a matter of life and death. So she tells him, I told you, two to the chest, one to the head. How could you fuck that up? And I knew I knew as soon as she said that, it was in that moment I knew that Detective Howard was going to be alive by the end of the episode or at the start of next season. He was not going to die, because that is classic foreshadowing to kind of be like, there's a big fucking difference. Yeah, the difference is life or death, right? So next we hit up and we see Omar Epps' partner. I never learned that white lady's name. One, because she's annoying, and I was hoping that she died before the end of the season. But we see her, and she's talking to the new captain, who was a black guy. And she's like, well, that's my partner. I get a long leash. I got to go find him. Girl, shut up. No one on the streets is talking to you. No one on the streets is listening to you. No one trusts you. That is what it is. Like, you doing a lot of talking and stuff when you just really didn't have the reign to, and you're asking questions like a Ricky would. So we see her take one of the detectives, Garcia, and they go out to hit the streets to start asking questions, knocking over heads. I have never lived through something like this. So like, if a cop gets shot like that, is that really what happens? I mean, I'm from Milwaukee. Cops have been shot here, but I have never seen like the streets be that hot. That is crazy. That's amazing. Like, that is truly amazing. Maybe it's because it's the 90s. I don't know, but that is the way that all the precincts in the greater metro New York area was like there. Wow. So then we see Unique, and he's meeting up with his crew, and they're like, the streets are saying that it's you. Unique was like, what the fuck? Of course, now who's dumb enough to shoot a D-Tech? And then he's kind of like, it's Rock. He puts two and two together, and by his name being thrown out, he realizes that Rock must have tried to set him up. So he tells his guys, get your asses off the streets, get home, don't even be out, it's hot right now. Don't talk to nobody, don't open the door for nobody, don't do anything until I tell you to. So Rock then goes and takes Kanan after he's changed his, she takes Kanan once he puts on something of Lou's. That's what I meant. So when he gets to Lou's house, he has to put on something of Lou's, which is now probably smoky and shit. But he puts on some of Lou's clothes. She takes him to the store of the woman whose husband she killed, where there's like their stash. So she takes him there and locks him in that back room. Tells the sales clerk that if someone comes by, you don't tell them that you saw the man running, but don't be too overeager with it. Make the detective feel like they really pulled something out of you. Don't make it seem like you willingly gave up all this information, right? So then we see Marvin, who is dressed up as like I'm gonna say construction, who's dressed up like a serviceman, and he said that he's there because he got a call about a gas leak. He's at Nick's apartment building. Nick lives in a high rise. I'm assuming somewhere close to downtown. And the guy at the service, the concierge, was like, no one told me that. I always get notified about this. And Marvin, which Marvin is such an ass, he ain't got nothing covering his face, but I guess you gotta be, you know, discreet and you can't be like, he can't come across as obvious. Like it's obvious he's up to something. So he was like, look, I'm here. If you don't want to let me in, that's fine, but you need to sign right here. Sign right here on the dotted line so that you can I have to prove that you did not want to let me up, and then if somebody blows up or some shit goes wrong, it ain't on me, brother, it's on you. So that man, such a dumbass, it's like, okay, 10 minutes, don't be long. So Marvin gets upstairs and he breaks into Nick's apartment, and it is always so cute to me that when people are like Jimmy and Locks, how they have like such a nice little case and he unzips it and the tools are in there neatly. I always think that is so funny when in movies and stuff they really pull it out. It's like, y'all just don't keep the shit in your pockets. So he breaks into the apartment, he looks around, he takes the jacket that Kanan was wearing, because when Scrap picked up Kanan, they switched the jackets. He gave the jacket to Marvin. So Marvin takes the jacket, puts it in Unique's closet. The jacket does have blood on there. So now that's how they're going to try to set up Unique. So Marvin does that. And as Marvin is walking out, Unique kind of sees the door slam, but doesn't think anything of it, which I was kind of shocked. Because I thought for sure that he would like question it and be like, nah, we're not going up in here. So, but he, we see that later. Yeah, I just do that now. But we see that later when Unique, calls his girlfriend or baby mama and his son because he wants his family all together. So when he arrives to his apartment, he sees the door closing, right, the stairwell right by it. And that's how he, it just wasn't suspicious enough to me. But that's when he gets home. So the white cap is out walking around and she finds Laverne. For Jukebox to be a 15-year-old girl, she is walking the streets a lot. I understand her daddy ain't shit and he doesn't care what the hell she's doing, but she is out walking the streets a lot. That is concerning to me because when I was 15, I would be way too nervous and too scared to walk out. Hell, I'm nervous and scared now with the way that the world is going to just be out and about walking the streets. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. So she sees her and she kind of presses her about, you told me that a cop would get shot. How did you know that? What's going on? Who told you? And while Laverne was an ass and, told her about that last week, and when I say last week, I mean last week's episode, while Laverne was an ass and told her that, this week she was like, I'm not telling you nothing. I'm a snitch. I'm not a snitch. That's what snitches do. And the cop is like, I can protect you. And she was like, yeah, because y'all doing a good job protecting us right now. And I'm like, well, okay. So the detective that she's with, Garcia, sees that she has men's clothes in the bag and some money. And it's like, why do you have men's clothes? I wanted to say, look how the fuck she's dressed right now. What makes you think they ain't hers? Like, she had on like an oversized sweater and some baggy jeans. So like, why are you confused as to why she would have some men's baggy clothes in there? Look what she's wearing now. Clearly she likes to dress like that. And then he finds the letter that Nicole gave her, and he was like, what is this? Should I read it? And I wanted to say, what the fuck would a letter that's clearly from like another teenager or child that's decorated with rhinestones and stickers have to do with this case? But he was just being a dick, and the white detective was like, we don't care about what the fuck she's wearing. Don't read the letter. Let's go. So next it switches over. Like I said, it's just a lot of back and forth this episode with trying to keep track of what everybody is up to. So then we see that Rock goes over to the apartment to come up with a plan so they can hide their drugs, because the police are going through everything relatively close because they're searching for who did it, because they're assuming whoever did it is still somewhere in the area hiding. So she goes to the apartments. As we know, she has the apartments on the 7th and the 8th floor. And they have that chute that we see is like in the oven because that when she first was digging the hole in the floor, the that man was not having the inspector was not having it. So she has the hole inside the oven and she put the range over it. So she kind of tells them, she pulls out the racks and she tells them when we get the call from downstairs that they're on their way up, we're going to take all our drugs, dump them here into the drop, and everything will be cool. And it'll, that way we can move our weight without getting caught, basically. So Jukebox goes to see Kanan. And she tells Kanan that she tells the lady at the shop she's gonna wait in there with Kanan. She gives him the money, and then like some snacks that his mom gave him because he forgot it. Kanan drank that yoo-hoo like it was good. Yoo-hoo has always been disgusting to me. Kanan drank that shit like it was amazing. And then Juke was like, "You are a fuck up, Kanan. You're a fuck up. Everything you touch, you fuck up." And I was like, "Where is this going? This is awkward." But Jukebox is in her. Her chest right now. She's upset about losing Nicole. She's upset about Nicole's parents. Basically saying that she's the one that gave her the drugs. She's really upset that Kanan gave her the drugs to hold and that Nicole found them. She's upset that her father found out not only that she was gay, but they just got into a fist fight. They got into a fist fight. One, you don't spit in nobody's face, but they was fighting in there like two niggas. I was watching just, oh my God. So she kind of tells Kanan, "You're a fuck up. Your parents don't care." And I'm just gonna wrap up their whole everything that they talked about in there. But Jukebox just kept telling him like, "Your mom doesn't care about you. This is not supposed to be life. We're kids. We're supposed to fuck up, and then the stuff that we fuck up on is supposed to be thrown away. It's okay. Like they're supposed to have typical, normal teenage fuck ups. Like I don't know, you crash your parents' car, or you fail a test, or get into a fight with a friend, or you have your first heartbreak. Those are typical teenage fights. The stuff that they're going through, like they're living adult lives. You know what I mean? They were thrust into it because of who their parents are. And Kanan is just kind of like, "Nah, I know you got your stuff going on with your dad, but my mom cares for us." And Juke was kind of like, "Your mom cares for you? She had you shoot a cop. She had you shoot a cop. The city is basically shut down and at a standstill because of what your mom told you to do. The block is so hot for you right now." So then we see Marvin is out driving. And we know if anybody is a fuck up aside from Kanan, it's Marvin. So Marvin is out driving and he is supposed to be on his way to go and pick up Kanan from the store so that he can drive him out of town. Which I think it would be it's kind of weird how Rock wants him out of town because I would think that would be obvious. We're out looking for who killed somebody and now your son is magically just out of town. That doesn't make sense to me unless that's where her mom lives, like relatively close, like in a different state. New York is so close to everything over there. So I'm wondering if he was supposed to be there. I don't know. It was weird. Very weird how he, is supposed to be going out of state. But there's so much traffic because the cops are searching everything. A lot of streets are shut down. So Marvin gets stuck in traffic and he ends up getting arrested for a drug warrant. And I'm like, of course. Of course you have a drug warrant, Marvin. So he gets up being arrested and he's like low-key panicking because this means now that he can't go and pick up Kana like he's supposed to, and Rock is paging him like crazy. So we see Lou show up to the apartments where Rock is, and he is basically like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? You had a cop shot?" Like, and he's like kind of telling Rock, like, "You put your son in this. It has gone too far. I'm done with it. I want out of the game. I'm not doing this no more. It's getting too crazy. It's getting too hot out here. Like, this is not it. This is it for me." And Rock basically tells him no. No. Because Rock basically was like, "Nigga, I own you. What I say is what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because what I say is what's gonna happen because I own you. The money that you have for that little studio and stuff, that's mine. And Lou was like, no, because the studio and stuff is clean. And Rock said, how did you pay for it? With the money that I helped you get. You don't get out of the drug game. You don't get to walk away from it. So Lou was kind of feeling away because he's pissed. And you can tell that, Lou wants to focus more on music and stuff because earlier we saw that when he was in the car with Jessica and Famous, the car next to theirs, Famous' song was on the radio, I think. I don't know if it's on the radio or somebody had a tape of it. So, he's into the mode of thinking that I can really do some shit with this. And Rock is like, nah, nigga, you gonna stay and you gonna do what I tell you to do. And that's you gonna stay up in this game. And he's kind of being like a dick about it. So she's like, I have everything under control. Marvin's just not answering. And it's kind of weird how Lou is like being kind of like condescending about it. It's kind of weird. So then we see the cops are at the apartments and they are tearing up everybody's everything. Tearing up everybody's everything. So they're rummaging through people's houses, and it's like, on one hand, it's like they're trying to find a clue as to who could have killed Detective Howard, but on the other hand, it's just a way for them to go in and wreck shit up. And, if they find drugs, we can just take some people in and pop them real quick. So they go to the apartment that is directly below. It's like a black family couple and then their daughter. I'm sure Rock is paying them good cheese. So they're getting that money, and they get the after their place is cleared, they send the page upstairs to Rock, who gets it, tells her guys to go ahead and move all the stuff. So they start moving it, and the entire time she's like panicking still because it's like, why isn't Marvin answering the page? And Lou was like, oh yeah, thought you had it under control. And it's like, don't be a dick about it. Like, I get that you're frustrated with what's going on, but like this little condescending attitude, Lou, it's not attractive. And you were too fine to be acting like this. So we see the cops then go to the store. They are talking to the store clerk again, and they finally get the tape from her. And this time, while they're back there getting the tape, they're talking to her, and she kind of tells them what happened, and they tell her, we will be back for the tape. I think the lady, the store clerk, did an excellent job. Like, she really sold the whole, I don't know what's going on, I don't want to talk about anything, I don't want to talk about what I saw. Like, she did a really good job with that, and she did a good job of deflecting when the cops noticed the door with all the locks on the back. So Rock is panicking. So before that, I'm sorry. So this is what I said earlier, that he sees the door closed. He's in his apartment. He's packing up stuff because he's trying to get the hell out of town too. Because, he's right now the number one suspect because everybody keeps saying his name. So he's thumbing through his closet. He finds the jacket with the blood on it. And he's like, I'll be damned. So right as he is like trying to think of what he can do really quick, the cops bust in, arrest him, say that this is blood on him. He's like, I have 10 people that can call me. I have 10 people that can vouch for me to say that I, was with them. So Unique is not really worried about it. But what's going to happen is they're going to dust that place. Marvin didn't have no gloves on. Kanan's wearing this coat with no gloves on. There's DNA. Some of Kanan's blood is probably on the sleeves of the coat. I just didn't think him wearing the coat was a good idea. They were better off leaving the fucking coat there. They were better off just having Kanan shoot Detective Howard, drop the coat, and leave the coat there, and then just run the fuck away. I just think that was weird to do. So we see Symphony go to pick up Kanan and Jukebox. Kanan gets in the car with Symphony. Jukebox does not. She tells Kanan, I love you. And I feel like I don't know if that's the last time they see each other for a while. But Kanan, goes out of town, and Jukebox is like standing there looking at him like she's like really fed up with her life, her family, with everything that's going on, and for good reason. I feel bad for Jude. So then we see Jessica picking up Luke. We see Jessica picking up Lou, and she is like in his ear. Your sister's gonna have you in jail next to her or dead. You need to do this, like trying to go in on him. And because Lou is so loyal to the soil about his family and about his sister, he tells her, "Shut up and just drive. Just drive." Like he don't want to hear that shit because it's what he knows. He knows that that's gonna be the outcome, and he doesn't want to have to face that shit. He doesn't want to have to deal with that. He wants to be able to just, for the moment, kind of forget everything exists and just kind of focus on what's going on now. So we see Symphony has driven Kanan to Maryland, and we cut to Detective Howard, who wakes up. After earlier the doctor said that he needed they were going to take out his spleen, I think a part of his liver, something else. They were going to try to do bone marrow. Like, it's a lot. He has AB negative blood. So, like, it's kind of like, my God, sir. But he wakes up at the end of the episode, and his white, annoying partner keeps asking him, what's going to happen? Who shot you? Who did it? Who did it? Who shot you? Whatever. They should have had Nas's Who Shot You playing in the background. Is that Nas or is it Jay-Z? Don't come for me if I forget to edit this part out. But they have that song. They should have had that song Who Shot You playing in the background. And I feel like he's not going to say Kanan. I think he's going to just say my son. Or he's going to say I don't know. Because now he's going to know that Rock sent Kanan to shoot him. He's going to flip. He's going to get Kanan to flip on Rock. And then... because I think there's going to be a falling out with Kanan and Rock, but we'll see. Then at the end of the episode, we see Rock standing out on I think she's on Symphony. She's either at Symphony's house on the terrace or she's on the roof of the apartments, and she's looking out over the city like, yeah, dope. Meanwhile, not knowing that Detective Howard has woke up because, as usual, your son is fucked up, because that's what Kanan does. So that was season 1 of Raising Kanan. I think it was super, super good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Next up is Power Book 2, season 2 with Ghost. So I will be reviewing that. So come holler at me for that. And based on the previews, Tommy's show Force starts at the beginning of the year, or first quarter of 2022, which we are all waiting to see Tommy. So I have been Tammy. If you have lasted this long throughout the video, go ahead and subscribe because you clearly enjoy hearing me talk for the past 28 minutes. But otherwise, thumbs up the video on your way out. Check y'all next time.